Welcome back to the 3 battle series. In this video we're going on the hands battle and we're going with the Thunder Gua. So the idea of the Thunder Gua is that you have a bright idea like a flash of lightning and then you have to escape because the idea went wrong, right? And we can all understand that from martial arts perspective, things don't often go the way that we expect them to, right? So he can punch in my face, right? And this is like where I want to be, right over here. But what if like he goes to throw that other punch and I try to go the same way? Now I have to deal with this other punch coming at me, right? Because I'm not to the side of him, which is where I prefer to be, but rather now I'm, as he throws that other punch, right now into the middle of him, where now I have to deal with both of his arms. So when taking it into the context of the hands battle, my brilliant idea is to try and get around him. Because if I'm, behind him, not only is it obscured from his view what I'm doing, and it's also harder for him to get to me, right? Because if I have control of this arm, he has to either move, because he can't, get me with that arm, because I can just, use his body as a shield, right? But if I'm here, both of his options are available to him. I have to deal with both of them, which is more difficult, right? From here, right, all of his options are available to him, whereas from here, right, a lot of his options are not available to him unless he changes his position, right? So I'm constantly trying to seek to his side or seek behind him. But not everything goes your way, right? So I might think he's going to get me with that arm, but then I go, and now I have to deal with this arm too, right? Or if we do it from this side to the camera, right, I'm trying to go this way, right? Now I have to deal with both these hands, right? So for one thing to keep in mind, right, if you go with that and I think I'm going to try and get to this side of him, right, don't just block here, reach to his other hand. This is something that we call seeking hands in our Ma family Kung Fu system, where he could either punch out and then he retreats his hand, I follow that in, right? Because if he throws a punch and he retracts, I might try to grab, but I might miss, right? So in this way, we train ourselves to kind of be sticky and adhere to his movements. So as he attacks, right, and he comes back in, right, I follow that back into him. So in this example here, right, he throws a punch, I seek both hands. I throw this up like a shield, so that whether or not he goes with that second punch, like he could go with that one punch and try with the second punch, but my hand is already here, right? So I don't wait for him in that instance. So in this case, I'm trying to go for that side there, but I mistake that he would be throwing this arm. So if he's throwing this arm, right, to get to this side, it's no problem. But if he throws that other arm, right, I have to save myself. So this is one way to save myself. Well, let's say that I failed to get to that side of him, right? He throws that punch, right? And I'm now here, right? Now he tries to deal with that other hand, right? This is where we kind of get to this inside here, right? So he throws the one punch, right? He throws the other punch, and now we're here, right? So from here, I have the inside here, so I can attack into him, but he can also collapse me and attack to my sides here, right? And he has both his limbs available, and he has both his legs available, right? So at this part, we don't want to be here. We could do something tricky on the way. It doesn't mean that fighting here is wrong necessarily. It's just more disadvantageous because he has more options available to him. So from here, I'd want to get to the outside. So from here, I could bong sao to lap sao to get to this side, right? So from here, if I just lower this hand so you can see better, right? Bong sao to kind of get your elbow onto this side. And as I roll over, right, now I suppress that with the elbow, and now I have this space available to me here. So as we get to one punch, two, right, bong sao to lap, now I'm back on the side here, right? And you can throw again, two punches, right, one to here. So from here I can separate and then come back down. This is what we call white egg offers fruit, at least the first part of it, right? So he throws a punch, right? From here, I circle, I come around, collapse. And from here you can do a number of things. You could, use it as a joint lock to throw him, or in the way that I did it, where I circle around, pull him through, right? And then pulling him into my attack, or whatever I would have waiting for him. Right? And to throw another variant into the game, right? From our Bagua, we have a elbows line, which correlates to the Thunder Gua. Because the idea is that I go in for an attack, right? And I'm like, oh crap, this is not where I want to be. So the line is all elbows, not only because I'm attacking with the elbows because I'm at close range, but also because I'm sort of turtling in a way. But not turtling as in, the dumb way, but turtling as in, if he's gonna like throw a punch, right? I can allow him to punch my elbow. So as you can see there, right? He was gonna punch me over here, but I guided him right to my elbow. If you ever punch someone's elbow, don't. That's broken knuckles right there, right? So you're using this as kind of shield, right? So he can try to come from the sides, right? And this is, you know, covering my head, right? And then elbows and strikes in here, move over to the side, right? And much like the bong sao, it all correlates, right? So get to here, right? Crap. My bong sao is kind of throwing that elbow over top, then throwing the elbow down, and then elbow to the side. So you can kind of look at it as like just this moving shield with pointy bits, right? And so you're guiding him into those pointy bits. So that's the idea, is that we're in a situation which is disadvantageous to us, at least in the idea that his options are fully available to him. I want for that not to be the case. So I can, you know, come over this side, or I can weave to this side, right? Attack through. But however you would want to do it, based on the martial arts that you might have practiced, that's the kind of idea. You could even do it from like a grasping, like, you know, wrestling kind of thing here, where I take his elbow, strip it, and come to the side here, right? Because here, he's got access to my spine. Here, I turn my body and force him away. So that's how you win the battle of hands in regard to the Thunder Gua, how to take a bad situation and reverse it into a good situation. See you next video.